matter and the Little Mermaid. There are lots of things to get ready before we actually start writing, especially if we want to write fast. But let's get started with some ideas. Welcome to Stephanie Del Porto Fantasy. It is close to Halloween, and that is why I am dressed up. I am supposed to be a wolf. This costume is actually from my steampunk days. Yes, I was on Airship Noir. I was a mechanic in Kansas City, and it was lots of fun. Don't judge. Okay, I am getting ready to write a short science fiction story for NaNoWriMo. And a while ago, I had a very random idea pop into my head. I was picturing an ethereal being made of dark matter. So she's made of these dark particles just swimming through space. I was curious for some reason. That's loud. Go stop that. Oh, you turned off my light. I hate you. Technical difficulties. Okay, at least it's better. Okay. So, made this wall. This temporary art wall because we might be moving. So it's very temporary. Very temporary. Alright, what was I thinking about? I was talking about dark matter. Okay, so for some reason, this idea popped into my head about Mermaid, but she was made of this ethereal black dark matter material, and she's just swimming around in all the spaces in between. You know, dark matter is supposed to be what are things we can see. Wow, I'm very articulate today. The things that we can see, the particles we can see, are kind of hung on the dark matter, so it's kind of a scaffolding for our universe. But yeah, I was just thinking there's so much that's there. It's physically there. We know it's there. We can measure some things, right? Can't see it. And I thought, whoa, what if there are creatures living in this? What if there are creatures swimming around in it? You would never know. It'd all be invisible. It would all just go pass right through us, like there's another world right here. So kind of similar to like a spirit world sort of a idea, except, you know, science. And for some reason, I don't know why it was a mermaid. I was just picturing creatures floating around in the dark matter, and I don't know, I just got excited about it a little bit. So I wrote it down some random place in a notebook, and then I rewatched Neil Gaiman's masterclass because I was studying, because I like to study, and he's a great teacher, by the way. Highly, highly recommend. And one of his prompts or assignments was to take a fairy tale or an old story that you're very familiar with and just try and look at it from a different angle, you know, from different characters, from a slightly different point of view, and rework it and figure out how these people would act, or these characters would act, if it was real life. Such as, he talked about Snow White. For me, The Little Mermaid popped into my head, and I mean, technically she's a stalker, and it is a very strange story, especially the original one. So also, when I was a little kid, I was very fascinated with mermaids. I used to swim around our little Walmart pool and over again, pretending I had a fin instead of feet, and I loved it, and I loved the movie when I was a kid. So yeah, that basically decided it for me. I had 3 references that were separate, and they just kind of came together. So yes, I will be writing The Little Mermaid, except science fiction, dark matter. It's gonna have a love story in there. It's gonna be all twisty and turny. Hopefully, I don't know how it's gonna end up. I have like some bullet points, but I don't know how exactly it's gonna end up. We will see. We have to wait and see what the characters want to do, and I'm excited about it. It's gonna be so much fun, and it's gonna be fun to write with you guys. It's fun to watch what the other authors are doing and just kind of play and write together. So the first thing I wanted to do is research. So I had my computer read the original story to me. I don't like it. It was very odd, and just the amount of self-sacrifice, no matter what happened to her, no matter what the guy did, seemed really ridiculous. There's a time and a place for self-sacrifice, but they just, no. I hate it. And I also rewatched the movie. I don't really like it anymore, but I really did when I was like 14 and trying to, imagine getting away from my overbearing father. So, anyways, so the next thing I did was brainstorming. So, main character, the side characters, story arc, and the scientists and different character arcs. I was just trying to get into what was going to happen in the story and figure things out. Like, what does a meet cute look like between a dark matter creature and a human man? I don't know. I needed to have more information, so I went ahead and started listening to documentaries about dark matter and dark energy. So yeah, dark matter they think it takes up about 80% of our universe. 80% of our universe that we just can't see. So that's fascinating. It has gravity, and dark energy actually pushes things away from each other. So hopefully I'm finding nuggets of information that I can use in my story, and I can take some of the real science and use it to create my fake science, because I do kind of soft sci-fi, so it's more on the fantasy side of sci-fi. But the next thing I'm gonna do is finish filling out my bullet points. So got plot points, but I just bullet point plot points, and then in between I do a few scenes so I can kind of meander through the story and figure out some of the things that are going on. I made the plot points already, and I just need to do the scenes in between. I'm going to make a Pinterest board so I can get some visual inspiration. And I will write a short backstory for all the characters, because I like to know where they came from. I like to know who I'm dealing with. It helps me to have, the plot points and the setting, and know the characters a little bit so that I can figure out what they would do. But, a lot of stuff is kind of intuitive. I kind of learn more about the characters as I write, so that's fun. And then I also just want to clean up my room and get ready for vlogging, and like maybe plan some meals or something, and just try to make it really easy and hopefully write quickly. I'm going to attempt to write with dictation just on Google Drive. I'm just going to try it and see if it works. If I don't like it, then I will just skip it, but I figured I can probably write faster that way. I don't think I'm going to win NaNoWriMo, but I'm going to do the best I can. Also, I have to get a tooth pulled, so that might interrupt. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to move, so I'm like gonna start talking to a realtor and like pack up my place, so that also might interrupt. This might be a really interesting November, so stay tuned. Alright, that's enough being goofy for today. See you next time. Bye bye.